source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need. Diving deep into the source, bringing love so we can release that which we no longer need.
Aloha. Good evening. This is Andrew Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona. Spiritual Productions on BlogTalkRadio and free conference calls on YouTube. Establishing and maintaining right relationships with human values. Aloha and welcome to tonight's Intimacy, Contact, and Relationships Psychically Fulfilled. Tonight we're talking about the subject matter is why are there so many single women that's talk. And so actually I got this. I was on surfing Facebook about a week ago or so, and a woman she asked she had posted a memo on her Facebook page, and it read, "Why are so many beautiful single women in LA?" it's time to talk about this issue. And so that's where actually kind of where I got the idea from, and I thought, that is a good question. I thought, well, it's been posed over the years, and I think even today that question is still very valid. So anyhow, and we're gonna talk about all that tonight. We have our co-host Maha Dakini Lorae. Aloha, Maha Dakini Lorae.
Aloha. Thanks
for being there. And we're going to talk about all this. I want to give a big aloha to all of our underwriters, beginning with, beginning with the 90-Day Ascension Journey at www.90dayascensionjourney.com. When you sign up for the 90-Day Ascension Journey, you will be facilitated with defining and redefining your soul through life purpose. This is you're finding out what ascension means to you. On this journey, you will be provided with tools, techniques, and assistance to empower you to connect and reconnect with yourself, your emotions and feelings in your mind, body, and spirit. Through a universal soul-centered process, you will be going through lifelong transformation that will allow you to move forward to the endeavors and never look back if you dare. And then we also have a Novate at www.spiritualimageproduction.novate.com, and that's the French word A-N-O-V-I-T-E, with over 25,000 scientific papers published on colostrum, a 90-day guarantee, and winner of the Healthy Living People's Choice Award twice over. Another case focuses on helping people with weight loss, anti-aging, heart disease, diabetes, depression, high blood pressure, asthma, allergies, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation, gout, lupus, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, cancer, ulcers, the polio virus, chronic infections, digestive disorders, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disease, thymus gland, mental clarity, maintenance and protection of the immune system, synthesis and repair of the RNA, DNA, and much, much more. And for those of you, I've been taking this stuff for over a year and a half or so. And what the biggest thing I found that has been really helpful for is clearing up a neuropathy. For those of you that don't know neuropathy, but anyhow, it's a nerve disorder, particularly that occurs with people that have diabetes, I believe. So anyhow, I found that the neuropathy has been very minimal compared to what it used to be over a year ago. So, and all helps with bones, with calcium, all kinds of stuff. You can check it out for yourself. We also have, of course, Maha Dakini Lorae, www.mahadakini.com. Maha Dakini Lorae's life has been a personal journey exploring sexuality and spirituality for over 20 years. She's a certified Tantra counselor and Tantra teacher and a certified mind and talent teacher. Maha Dakini Lorae is also a graduate of Margot non-zero-long Skydance and Tantra facilitator training program, as well as a current member of the American Association of Sexual Educators, Counselors, and Therapists Club, as well as a charter member of the Association of Sexual Energy Professionals. She regularly attends trainings and conferences. She's current with the latest research and information on sexual education. And then we also have Revitalized Biogenic Technologies at www.revitalizedbiogenic.com. Born out of the Soviet space industry, Revitalized Biogenic Technology, the product of 30 years and billions of dollars of Russian research, is believed brings about more of the science of water together in one product than any other water available today. The well-defined perfect crystal-shaped water enables rapid absorption and usefulness by ourselves, not by ourselves, but by ourselves, okay? Thus, the increase of commodity drive created by imprinting water with a high amplitude frequency assists the cells with a healthier foundation for nutrient uptake and release of toxins. It speeds up delivery of nutrients into the cells and potentially increases your energy. And I've been taking this stuff, these revitalized biogenic water. They have a different bottles or different waters for different things, such as helping to heal the pancreas or lungs or kidneys or whatever. And I've been taking one that helps transport, that helps heal the pancreas. And diabetes runs heavily in my family, and I'm pretty sure that if I hadn't been taking this, I probably would have been diagnosed with diabetes a lot sooner than I have today. And then finally, we do have Andrew Aloha is executive at www.90dayascensionjourney.com. Andrew Aloha is executive producer of Spiritual Image Productions whose mission goal purpose is to establish and maintain right relationships with the human body, which exemplify to others right healthy relations with ourselves as well as with each other. Andrew Aloha, myself, and I have been counseling, coaching, mentoring for over 15 years. Astrology readings we are of Western and esoteric style tradition or Eastern. Western astrology readings are more personality or lower ego based, while the esoteric or Eastern style of readings are more of a soul, true life purpose based on the state of the soul connecting to the fetus, which is about 3 to 4 weeks after the day of conception. Past, present, and future are covered in both styles, while the whole reading is done with a psychic and emphasis as well as tarot cards. So we're back to intimacy, Tantra, relationship, psychically fulfilled. Why are there so many single women, Maha Dakini Lorae? I really want to talk about that.
I couldn't tell you. This was your topic.
All right. Well, here, guess what? I got the people on the air, area code 701 and area code 334. We're just going to open up both of them. Mm-hmm. Aloha, area code 701. You're on the air.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Did you want to talk to us? Yeah. What's your name? How did you hear about us, and where are you located at?
My name is Deb. I'm calling from North Dakota.
Okay.
And I think this is the first time listening to your show.
Okay. And how did you hear about it?
Through Blog Talk.
Now, Deb, did you have a question for us?
Yeah. Are you taking questions on different subjects or on certain things?
What the subject tonight is why are there so many single women? Let's talk. And I'm not doing readings. I'm not doing astrology readings, but I am doing. We are talking about single women. Are you a single woman, Deb?
Yes, I am.
And do you have kids? Have you been married before?
Yes, I have a couple kids. I have been married before. And you're wondering why there's so many single women?
Yes.
Or even personally, why are you single? I've been single for a long time, and so this was Andrew's topic, but, I'd be interested to hear, like, Deb, from you, like, why are you single now? Are you looking for someone? Are you choosing to be solo? Are you choosing to work on yourself? So, I think it's kind of an interesting topic.
So,
yeah,
Deb, before you go forward, I'm going to define, according to Wikipedia, what a single person is. It says in legal definition for interpersonal status, a single person is someone who is not in a relationship or is unmarried. In common usage, the term single is often used to refer to someone who is not involved in any type of serious romantic relationship, including long-term dating, engagement, marriage, or someone who is single by choice. Single people may participate in dating and other activities to find a long-term partner or spouse. People may remain single for a variety of reasons, and we're just going to leave it at that. It says including financial and emotional, physical issues, stress in the family, time constraints, education, career, personal preferences, advanced age or social fears, living in a society or locality where there are an insufficient number of people of the preferred sex for romantic or sexual attraction, or simply extreme bad luck in finding anyone who will reciprocate an interest in a relationship. In some cases, single people may be uninterested in marriage, domestic partnership, or other types of community relationships. Does that make sense to you, Deb?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So Go ahead. Why are you single, Deb?
Well, I would have to say because after being in relationships that had a lot of different things that I would say shouldn't have happened, then
what happened?
Just the type of, people that I ended up being with. I ended up being a very independent person, probably more fussy than the average person, because I definitely don't want to go back to what that was before. I'm okay with being on my own. How
long have you been single for, Deb?
Since, you're talking about single as not in a relationship.
Not in a relationship at all. Just
right.
Maybe dating around, and that's about it.
Yeah.
How long have you been single?
I had been with in a relationship with a guy kind of off and on for about 15 years. And
you guys ever moved in with each other?
We did for a brief time. We're not always physically in the same place all year round as the other person is. So, but I mean, that's not even the nightmare of my past is the one before that. But it's just, you either end up repeating history or you have to get stronger.
Right.
And you have to take, you have to take the time. Right. You can't expect things to change if you're not going to give yourself time to heal and be comfortable being on your own.
The relationship prior to, Deb, was it a very abusive relationship?
Yeah, physical, emotional, verbal.
So that took a toll on you. That really put you in not wanting to be in a relationship.
It was something that I had bottled up, and nobody knew until things were unraveling. And because I figured it wasn't anybody's problem but my own.
Right.
So.
And so, are you in a relationship now? Are you involved in a relationship, or you're just dating, or you're not dating at all?
Not right now. I'm not. The guy I was kind of off and on for the last 15 years. We ended up having arguments that just didn't. We talk friendly now, but there's nothing more than a friendship.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so it sounds like you guys are soulmates. When I'm hearing you say, and see what happens is, Deb, and it's very important. Hang on a second. Are you okay if I check to see if you're soulmate?
Oh, sure.
Okay, hang on a second.
Andrew, why would you think that this guy that she has this off and on thing be a soulmate when they're not really on the same page?
You would be surprised how many soulmates do not get along, and that's why I tell a lot of people that they go, "Oh, I'm looking for my soulmate," and they find their soulmate, and they cannot get along for nothing.
I wouldn't see that then why, how, okay, so help me with this. Determination of soulmate or defined soulmate, my thought would be that you're resonating, two souls are kind of resonating together as opposed to two souls that are coming into conflict and having very different vibrational frequencies and disconnecting. Well,
you got to remember, they have history with each other. They've been involved with each other in other lifetimes, and I can guarantee you 100% or your money back that there are a lot of soulmates out there that cannot get along, not for nothing. I'm sure.
Well, it should be another word than say soulmate. They should say soul connections or past life connections.
A soulmate is a tribe that someone belongs to. They're all part of the same group, and that soulmate is not just two people. Or it's a whole group of people, like 100. It could be hundreds, it could be thousands. I don't know, but I don't know how all the definitions. But a soulmate is a tribe of people, literally, that are coming together. And what happens is once they start getting along, and that's what I'm going to say to you, Deb. It's really a good idea. I did check to see if you're a soulmate, and you are, from what I'm picking up. And the whole idea is that you get along with each other. You guys have had a lot of lessons. You're a lot of times you're the same people, and sometimes a lot of times if you look at your reflection, you do not like your reflection at all. So that's what they're doing. Is reflecting you right back to you, and you don't like some of those behaviors. So a lot of times that's what happens. And so, Deb, it's important to get along with this guy and there are other soulmates in a lifetime. Usually, you'll meet 3 to 5 or 6 people that are your soulmates. Some of them could be family members, or some of them could be on the other side of the planet you don't even know about. And likelihood that you'll meet 3 or 4 or 5 of those people is not very high. So it's a low number. But the whole idea is to get along with them, because eventually what happens is you'll start doing projects together. You'll start doing a business, a school. I don't know. It's undetermined what all the projects are, and you're going to have to get along in order to do successfully those projects. Does that make sense to you, Deb?
Yeah, I guess I never thought that soulmates would have that kind of conflict.
Yeah,
we're kind of. I think we're both kind of to the point we're scared to go there, because if the other one says no, I think there's that fear of rejection. And so being in the friend zone is safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you hit it right on the nail. You hit it right on the nail, Deb. Fear, I believe fear is the main factor for women being single, and men for that matter. That's fun. So you got any advice for Deb, Maha Dakini Lorae?
I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. Why? What would I be able to tell somebody? I work with sexual energy and things, but I am not a relationship person. I don't coach in relationships. I don't tell people how to get along with each other. That is not my thing. It's like, if you're together and you want to build a stronger connection to each other through sacred sexuality, that is my area of expertise.
Got it. So Deb, this is what I'm saying to you is, number one, the rule of thumb for a good, healthy relationship. And again, fear factor, you hit it right on the nail, right on the head. Fear is the biggest factor of it all, no matter what. But if you want a guideline, a guidepost that will help you with establishing and maintaining good, healthy relations with anybody, I don't care if they're from another planet, from another country, from another state. Even if they're from another state, they can still be an alien, right? It doesn't work. So the main rule of thumb is no blaming, no complaining, no threats, no name calling, and no lies. Okay, that's the basic foundation. And then the more evolved, more higher graded good end is being supportive of each other, being productive and creative and of service, and also appreciative of everything that's going on with each other. If you were, if all that's going on, all those wheels are turning in that direction in a relationship, or even at the beginning of the relationship, that starts to begin. And first of all, you see that person being supportive, and then also he's being creative and productive, and then of service, and then appreciative of your efforts, of who you are, and of themselves too, not just you, but of themselves. Then you got some green lights going on. But if any of that's missing, or some of that is going in the opposite or direction, then you got some red flags, and you got to think about whether you want to continue with that relationship or not. And one of the best things to do for this, to make sure that you know that the flags are green and going in the right direction, is sit down and set intentions with each other. What are your intentions with me today? Over this relationship right now. I want to get married. I just want to be friends. I want to be lovers. I want to be friends with benefits. I mean, you name it. Okay, and then you set down some boundaries. I'm allergic to peanut butter, so I don't want to eat stuff that has peanut butter in it. Blah 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 blah. I got a busy schedule, and I need to. I can only meet with you about 2 or 3 times in the week, and otherwise I'm really busy. It's nothing against you, but that's just where my schedule is at. So time management is very crucial. I think that's another big blunder with women that are single. They don't know how to time manage. I think that's probably a big factor in it. I'm not 100% sure about that. Of course, I don't know that there's any research done on this, but there's a lot of articles about all this. But time management, I think, may seem to be a big factor concerning women that are single. They don't know how to manage the time in a good, healthy way, and I think that could be a huge possibility, huge factor. So does that make sense to you, Deb?
Yeah, I guess, time management can be both men and women. I don't have a issue with that part myself. I think it's still where it's more of a struggle for women to make the same amount of money as men for a similar job. That's still, that's still there. So we might have to work harder if we want to make the same, or, since we are more independent, we're on our own, we're stubborn about that, then we probably work 2 jobs or more, where the man, most men are so laid back, and then they wonder why we're so strung out. Well, you know what? We've got a roof to keep over our head, and we're disadvantaged income-wise compared to them. And
you said it right on the nail.
Yeah, and there's other things too. We wear our emotions on our sleeve, and we're more of the ones that keep in touch with the kids, and and worry about things like that, where guys just don't worry about stuff.
Got it.
So.
Go ahead.
Women do emotional labor. I don't know if you've heard of that or understand what the definition of that means. A lot of articles that I'm reading. Emotional labor is, what Deb was referring to. We're kind of like taking care of the guy's emotions for them. We're emotional. Men are kind of stoic. They haven't learned, they've been taught not to show emotions. So we're taking care of them and making sure that they're okay when things happen. And
yeah, I hear you.
It's
no, that in the articles that I read, came across, you both hit it right on the head. Women are displeased and disgusted with a lot of the men who act like kids, like high school kids. And there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable and being kid-like in order to, and being transparent, which means a lot of times people are transparent when they're more kid-like. But not behaving in obnoxious ways is a whole different ballgame. And you're right.
There's a difference between being a childish and childlike. Childlike is way different. It's like having the innocence and vulnerability and the curiosity and wonder about the world. Childish is not being responsible and letting other people do the work and skating by life and all the other kinds of things. Not dealing with emotional grown-up issues and facing, responsibilities.
You said it right there, Maha Dakini.
Acting stupid.
Being responsible. They're choosing not to be responsible people, individuals, which means that they're not honoring you. They're not honoring themselves. And I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
Oh, so just in the sense of for myself, it's not that I don't want a relationship, but I'm really looking for someone who is evolved.
Okay.
My line of work, someone who is working on, also done a lot of internal work, someone who is on a spiritual path like I am. And these days, that's kind of hard to find out in the regular world. And I'm not choosing to look within my community at this point. Because there's a lot of people who do like fake spirituality. They're just on this kind of like fun trip of Tantra, and that's not what I'm looking for either.
So you don't want to just connect on the sexual level. You want to connect on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level, on all levels. Is that what I hear you saying? And so I have really high standards, and I have in fact met someone to kind of fulfill that. I did many years ago, and we had a engagement together for about 5 years, and that ended. But as I think what Deborah was saying too is that I'm working on myself, and do I need someone to fulfill me? No. But it would be nice if someone came into my life and we could play and have fun and explore whatever love means and quote-unquote relationship. But is it absolutely necessary? I don't find my life as being dull or less than because I don't have this other being. That's around me. You pointed out another basic fundamental thing about relationships. And first of all, like going back to what Deb said earlier, women are much more financially secure these days than not. Not to mention that technology and toys have gone on to help women fulfill their physical needs, and so they don't have to rely on men as much as they used to. Back in the day, back in the old, in the wagon days, women relied on men for security and safety purposes, and so it was really important for them to get hooked up with somebody because otherwise they could be somebody could come in from out of the west or out of the east and pilgrimage their houses and rape them and all kinds of stuff. And so it was important for them to have a partner because due to safety and security reasons was the biggest thing. And then along with that, further down the road, then it was also due to financial conditions. Now, I read some of these articles, and it's baffling how ignorant some of these, and I'm sure of it. These women wrote down their list of here. I'll show you. This article is called 9 Benefits of Being Single in 2018. Because number one, because there's no way there's way more to your life than relationship status. Okay, because 2, because women aren't taking any BS. Number 3, because single people are fulfilled. And then 4, because your sex life can still be amazing. And 9, now this also suggests that women can go and play around more than they used to. They can go screw around and be bloody or whatever they want, but that's acceptable behavior in this day and age. It seems like to me that it's what they're saying. So and number 5, it says because you can save so much money. I don't know how in the hell they figured that out, but you know if 2 people are sharing rent and expenses and all that, I don't know if that could save you money that way or the other way, or just being single. Number 6, because you can use that money to treat yourself. Number 7, because it's always a good time to explore sexuality. Again, this allows for polyamorous relationships, not just monogamous relationships, or just being single. 8, because it's a good time for a solo trip. 9, because you can finally learn to put yourself first. Now that is a good point. It's really important that women honor themselves, because if they don't honor themselves, then how do they expect men to honor them too? So I think that's a really huge point. Even though all the other points seem pretty lame or whatever, but that in and of itself makes up for all of them. In that. Now, Deb, do you honor yourself? Do you take care of yourself? Do you put yourself first on a lot of situations and make sure that you're being taken care of?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and when you were talking about you feel like you're evolving. I mean, I myself said that exact word to myself, that I feel like I am too. We seem like we have a lot in common that way. That a relationship would be nice. It'd be nice to go out to supper with somebody from time to time, but do we need them? Do they mean? And can we live without them? Yeah, we're okay by ourselves. But if there was that right person, then it would be nice to have the companionship. But it doesn't mean that we're nothing if we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, and I think there's more and more women that are probably starting to feel that way than there used to be. And, it probably does have a lot to do with that we're in the workforce now than we ever used to be, where the male would be looked at as, well, you couldn't make it on your own if you didn't have me. So it wasn't about how well the relationship worked. It was about power. And now women are in their own power. So all of that is changing. So if you think you deserve to be with me, then you're going to have to be my ideal match of what I, see as a criteria for I'm looking for this, and this, and I'm definitely not looking for the following.
Right.
So if we don't get that checked off, then we just don't show any interest because it's not worth wasting our time.
So this is what I want to do, Deb and Maha Dakini Lorae. I want to take a breather. We'll play some music, and then I want to come back and I want to finish talking about this, and then I want to say for myself the biggest one of the biggest reasons of that women are single in this day and age, and we haven't even talked about it yet. I think we talked around it so far, but we haven't even talked about it. So I want to play a song called Radha Ramana by Daniel Paul from his album Elephant Players. I want to send out love, blessed, healing, visions, and light love to you, Dad, and Maha Dakini Lorae, and myself, and all the family and friends, to our vehicles, to the residents, to the President of the United States, and all his entourage. Man, I got you to know. And back to all the leaders on this planet, from every country, from every walk of life around here, and to all the women, all the single women, man, this is not the love, blessed, healing, visions, and light love to all the single women out there, whether they be have kids or not or whatever, whatever the case may be. Anyone you want to add to that, Deb or Maha Dakini Lorae?
No, I'm good.
Deb?
Yeah. I guess I'm not sure what you're looking for us to add.
We're just sending out love and light to people, that's all.
Before we go on break and things, so that's his intention for the little break that we have.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll go ahead and send out love, blessings, healings, angels, light, love to all the people out there in California having to do with those fires. They really need some support. And also, one woman the other day mentioned to all the kids and the families that have been broken up or being broken up from all this race thing, this alien thing or whatever. To all the kids and the animals and plants on the planet, especially the ones in need concern, everyone else in need concern, we'll be back. Radha Ramana by Daniel Paul from the album Elephant Players. And we're back. This is Andrew Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona. The Spiritual News Productions on BlogTalkRadio and Free Conference Call on YouTube. Establishing and maintaining right relationships for the human life. Aloha, welcome back to tonight's Intimacy, Tantra, and Relationship Psychically Fulfilled show. Tonight our subject is why are so many single women that talk? And again, so far we were talking about how technology and women being able to financially secure themselves, and that means in that aspect they can not only have enough money to pay for their own rent and all the utilities and all that stuff, but also so if they need to hire a bodyguard, they can hire a bodyguard. They can make enough money for that. So women are much more financially secure these days. So they don't need to be as safe and secure as they used to be back in the day. And then in terms of their sexuality, you know, they have all kinds of toys and technology. You know, they can go online and go play with people online, all kinds of stuff. So their immediate needs are being fulfilled and gratified on a regular basis, and they don't even need to leave the home, the house, for that to happen. And they can they can play around with other people and not just one person. That leaves the door open to polyamorous relationships, which is actually in target in line with what the Aquarian age is all about. The Aquarian age, which we're almost fully in now, is all about group effort, group relationship, and more than just one relationship, as opposed to the Piscean age, which was about monogamy. And so this is actually in line with what's going on with the Aquarian age, which is the second point. And then a lot of women have, as Deb here has explained, she was involved in a very abusive relationship. And I believe a lot of women have been in abusive relationships. And they don't want to go back to that crap anymore. They don't want to rekindle the abuse. That's the first thing from their mind. Is that correct, Deb?
Correct.
And so now I want to open up the line. I have another person on this. Area code unregistered number 111. Aloha, you're on the air.
Oh, I'm just listening to the show. I really didn't have any questions.
Okay, that's okay. If you do, just let us know, and we'll be happy to answer that. Now, another thing.
All right, or if she has anything to share. Oh,
go ahead.
Saying if she has anything to share, but I wanted to throw in maybe another reason why women are single these days is because they're creating sex robots, and most of them are sex robot women, so women don't have to deal with all the bullshit that men want from us. If they're, they can get their needs gratified through a sex doll and then we can be off and doing our thing and growing and evolving while they're playing with their dolls.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. So men are paying attention to sex dolls instead of real live women. Is that what I hear you saying?
Well, it's a big business. It's just starting. Yeah, I'm reading some articles on this, that they're making these robotic dolls that can entertain men. And there was one story I read of this guy in Japan that was, his family was really worried. I mean, it just wasn't a sex doll, but it was a companion, and he would dress it up and take it places and things and have conversations with it. And it's like, great, taking the emphasis off of us and devote it to a doll. She won't say no. She can fulfill all of your whims and desires, and it won't age and do anything you want.
Right.
So maybe that's what some men are looking for, and I think women these days. Oh, also you talk about the age of Aquarius, isn't it? That we're kind of coming into more of a getting out of this, masculine energy, and we need this feminine energy to help bring balance back into the world.
Well,
so women are independent and strong, and stepping into their role and evolving. And even in government, you're seeing that a lot of women are kind of running for political office. It's amazing.
Well, I hear you.
So maybe that's a good thing.
So there's more of a balancing of energy, the feminine and masculine energy.
Well, that's what I'm perceiving, is that we have to bring women into this world to help override a lot of what men have created and how they've been ruling. Women, I think, you don't see women wanting to pick up a gun and run off and go to war. They're going to sit down and maybe want to talk about it. They're going to want to be more diplomatic. They're going to want to resolve conflict.
Well, maybe this will help.
There's more compassion.
The age of Aquarius is all about group effort, magic, ceremonial order, develop up on the number 7. So with that in mind, people are becoming more polyamorous. I believe that's what all this stuff is saying. And instead of monogamous, they're not wanting to be prone to being monogamous anymore. Why? Because they don't understand monogamy in this day and age. I think is a big reason, because they don't. We've talked about this before, that when people have sex, the biggest reason for people having sex is for procreation, not recreation necessarily. Now, back in the day, that was the biggest ordeal, and they didn't have contraceptives, they didn't have rubbers, they didn't have the pill, they didn't have all that stuff, and so if people were going to have sex, they knew that it was a good possibility, good probability that they were going to have kids, and so they were willing to commit to that, and so that's why they would have sex to begin with. But this day and age, it's more for creation, for recreational purposes than procreation, and so that and it gives a lot of women, a lot of people the opportunity to be able to do that and experiment around if they want to do that. Does that make sense to you?
Well, yeah. With the advent of the pill, women had a little bit more freedom to
a lot more freedom, not just a little. I think a lot.
Well, a lot of freedom to be sexual beings. However, we're still fighting a lot of these stereotypes that if a woman is sexually independent and has a high libido as much as a man, there's still this stigma around that.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and list some of the other reasons that women are single in this day. Now, it was believed prior to that within the last several years that there was a lot more women than there are men on the planet. And so that was one of the reasons that they were saying that women were single, is because women, there's not enough men to go around. Well, these women are coming out and saying, well, no, it's not even about that. It's just the thing is that a lot of these women, like yourself, Deb, grew up in relationships that were abusive. They grew up with family lifestyles that are dysfunctional and abusive. So they don't want to get caught up in all that crap anymore. And so basically, they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. They don't want to be in more than just a hookup. A hookup is all that they're interested in. A few days, few months, few weeks, and then it's time to move on to the next relationship. Does that help? Does that feel like you at all, Deb?
Well, yeah, when you've been in an abusive relationship, at least I'm speaking for myself, I am not somebody that would be looking for something casual where it's going to be this guy this week and maybe another one next month. That's not me. And, when people tell me that other people really are only looking for that, it's pretty shocking. But when you've been in an abusive relationship, I know it's hard for me to wrap my head around that. But when I've been from when somebody like me has been where I've been, I'm looking for the real thing. And, there's times I wonder, are my expectations so extreme, so high, that person will never exist? Because we want them, I'm not saying there's got to be perfection, but we want the gentleman. We want the one that respects us. We want the one that values our opinion. They do things for us, like the little things, opening a door, and probably even a little old-fashioned, where some guys think, well, you're independent, you're on your own, so I don't have to do that because you can already do that for yourself because you are making it well enough on your own. But I think for myself, I'm more looking for the real deal. Not the one, the lasting one.
The article that talks about women just wanting to hook up and that's it, on a casual type of thing, that's for women that are in their 20s, in their early 30s. They don't have to think about health conditions. They don't have to think about kids. A lot of single women have kids, and they don't want to get involved with anybody because they got kids and they're busy bringing up their kids, and they don't want to even bother bringing in somebody else in the picture for that process. They don't want to bring up their kids like they grew up because it wasn't healthy. It was a dysfunctional lifestyle that they grew up. So a lot of women are single because they're beautiful. They're too beautiful, supposedly. Men don't want to get hooked up with them because they're too frigid, or all the reasons that have to do with women being beautiful. Nobody asks them out because they think they have all kinds of dates and all kinds of stuff, and yet they don't. No guys ask them out because they seem like they're a standoffish type of a person. Another reason that women are. Go ahead.
Well, another thing, not only, the beautiful part of it, but those women that are very successful, then guys are going to feel like either, A, I'm not going to have a chance to have an opportunity with them because they are either beautiful or very successful. And I know other women that are single, and I'm sure that's what men are thinking. There's no way that she'd even consider me.
Exactly, and you're right.
And it's not just beauty, it's success, too.
Exactly, and you're right. I didn't come across that, and I didn't think about that, but that is correct as well. Another reason women are single is because of health conditions. They're going through all kinds of stuff concerning their physical health, their emotional, mental health, or even spiritual health, possibly. Another reason that women are single is because of grieving. They lost a lover, they lost family members, or friends or something, and they can't get over it. They have a hard time leaving that behind, or putting it to the side, or just keeping it within themselves, and so they don't move on to a relationship. Now, in this case, it's kind of like another reason that women are single. And this kind of has to do with you, Deb, and also you, Maha Dakini Lorae, in the sense of speaking, is because they're looking for their consort or twin flame. I believe that twin flame and consort are one and the same. And a consort is a person, a partner that you'll be involved with forever and ever and amen. It's like two gods, Jesus and his consort being Mary Magdalene. So it's like that. It's a much more higher calling type of a connection than a regular 3D mundane, mediocre relationship that most people are involved in this on this planet in this case. And again, some of the articles I came across, women are single because they're disgusted with the men. They're abusive, they're cheaters, they're liars, they're vulgar, they're less than they should be, and they don't want to put up with that crap. So yes, just like it said in that one article. Another reason that women are single is that they keep falling into the same patterns, keep getting involved with the same type of guy that screws them over the time before. And typically, I think that these relationships are codependent relationships. I think that's the type of pattern that they get caught up in. I think that's the kind of guy that they get involved with that really doesn't serve them well. Another reason that women are single is because of they're more conscious and they know what they want out of life. They know what they want in a relationship. They know, they've grown up in these other relationships that aren't healthy, or they've seen other relationships that aren't healthy or successful, and so they don't want to be a failure. They don't. They're afraid of being a failure, but also they're afraid of being successful. A lot of women don't want to be in a relationship because they're literally afraid that it'll be too good to be true. They'll be involved in a relationship that seems like perfect, and then it's a Sagittarian energy type of thing where they experience the bad before they do the good. But the wounded healer is what it's called. So they'll get involved in a relationship and they'll go, oh, man, this is going great. And then somewhere down the road, they'll sabotage it or allow it to be sabotaged or somehow or another. And then they'll end up single again. So it's like that. She's far more aware of what she wants in a man. Blah, blah, blah. Another reason that women are single is they notice that male attention is, and this applies most to older women because men start paying attention to the younger women, and then they feel like their self-esteem is squashed because some other woman looks better than she does. But again, this all has to do with right, healthy relations. And I don't believe that. I believe that a lot of these women, a lot of people are single because they don't understand what a good, healthy relationship is. They don't have role models. They didn't grow up with role models of good, healthy, right relations at all. Growing up, and then, you took it all these people that they're killing each other. They're killing their wives. They're killing their kids. All kinds of weird stuff happening where women just don't want to be a part of the drama anymore. And I don't think men do either, but that's fine. A lot of women are still single. Usually, a lot of times they're single between up until 28, 29 years old. And that's when the soul life purpose stuff, the true life purpose stuff kicks in. The stuff that your soul came here to do kicks in around 28, 29 years old for most people on average. And so women and men tend to stay single until around then. And then usually, a lot of times, they'll end up getting married around 28, 29 years old. And then a lot of times that happens. You see her sister. A lot of times women end up being single, staying single, because their subscription to their online dating service expired. Right? So they can't go check out more guys, and because their subscription is expired. And again, back to childbearing, women are single because they're busy raising kids. As women get older, the male selection gets thinner. I don't know. Maha Dakini Lorae, do males tend to die out more, faster than women do?
I'm not quite sure the statistic, but I think that women usually outlive men by a few years, as in the older range, and I think it's just men dealing with a lot of their unaddressed health issues. Men see doctors less often than women do. Men, in general, take less care of themselves as women. Women are going to report, something that they feel off about in their bodies quicker than men will.
Okay. So, and Dad,
so I would think that women outlive men, so we'll be around a little bit longer than they will. So there'll be a few more of us still left.
Go ahead. And Dad, what do you think?
I definitely agree with that. Women in general do live longer than men, and I think we do take better care of ourselves health-wise.
Okay, and I didn't get a chance to research that, but I have the feeling that that's correct as well. Men seem to get ill sooner than women. Their health seems to deteriorate sooner than women a lot of times, I think. And I think that you're right, that men seem to dissipate sooner than women do. So, which leads, again, this goes back to there being less males than women, and so therefore women wanting women being single as they get older. Now, I don't know that I've seen this. I came across it all, but I don't think that women, older women, want to be single. I don't think that they want to just hook up. What do you think, Maha Dakini Lorae and Deb?
I think that's subjective because I'm older and I'm fine, being on my own. Again, I'm happy with my career. I have friends, but I don't make immediate new friends. But a lot of my friends are people I knew from a long time ago. and they're both men and women. So I've had friends, grade school girlfriends since we've been friends since 5th grade. And there are times we've connected more often than not, but it seems that as of late we're connecting more. I have some male friends I've known for like 15 years, and a family. So,
yeah, but are you as an older person, do you just want to be single and just hook up with guys and that's it?
I'm not hooking up either. If a man comes along and I meet him and I choose to date, or if I just want to go to bed with him, fine. But I'm not in that hooking up kind of energy anymore.
I hear you exactly. Deb, what about you?
No, that's not my thing.
That's not your cup of tea?
No, it's going to be a real relationship.
Well, see, and that's it. I think that older people don't just want to hook up. It's too much energy to just hook up and then see you later. Bye. I'll talk to you next lifetime. Whatever. It's just and with the amount of diseases out there going on and all the all the stress going on out there, that I don't think that older people want to just hook up. It's just too much for them. Now, another reason that I discovered that women are single is because a lot of them later on decide they want to be lesbian. Yeah, they don't want to be hooked up with other people, other guys. They just want to be single and and play around with women. So again, we're back to being afraid of divorce. So they're afraid of women are single because they're afraid of divorce. They're afraid of failure, success, and commitment. They are, and again, women these days are more financially secure. So security and safety is not as big of a thing as it used to be. So they can afford to be single a lot more than they used to than back in the day. Another reason that women are single and is because a lot of the men are in prison. I don't know if there's an increase of men going to prison in the last several years, but I have a feeling that, and I didn't get a chance to research this, but I have a feeling that is true. Is that correct? What do you think, Maha Dakini Lorae?
I know that our country incarcerates the most people, but I don't think that really has much of an effect on the dating pool. And some men are in prison because they smoke marijuana or something like that, and especially like in California, they're trying to, I think, overturn that. Somebody who was in prison for a pot conviction or selling pot or something, they're trying to get those, been released early, since now pot's legal. But I don't know about because the dating pool is less. You could find somebody. You could travel the world, and you could find men all over the place.
Well, that's
so it doesn't matter where you're at. Now, if there was a war, and they say they were, men were being killed right and left and being, drafted and things, then I would say there might be less of a dating pool. But I don't think the prison thing is a big reason.
Well, if you're one of those women that likes the bad guy type of thing, then that could be a huge factor. So now, let me see. There's a couple of more of other reasons that I believe that women are single, and I think they're probably at the top of the charts.
I wanted to bring up the thing about lesbianism. I don't, again, that some women, they want to, at this age in my life, where I'm at, I prefer male anatomy over female anatomy.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, we're taking everything into
I'm just
consideration.
thinking. I'm talking personally, and my own preference and my own taste. I prefer, like I said, I'm just saying the male anatomy over the female anatomy. I don't want to. I don't know if I could say those words or not on air.
I know that I keep telling women that I'm probably the best lesbian they're ever come across, but that's lesbian. So anyhow, there's a couple other things that haven't been mentioned in any of the articles, which I think need to be mentioned. Number one is if you've ever read the Dolores Cannon books, we've talked about Dolores Cannon, haven't we, Lorae?
I'm not sure.
Deb, have you ever heard of what's that?
Is she a psychic?
I think she is, but that's beside the point. Deb, have you ever heard of Dolores Cannon?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, Dolores Cannon is a woman that started doing hypnotherapy, and she ran across. She states in her books. She's got about 18 books or so, something like that, and she states that in her books that there's what you call the indigo races. You've heard of the indigo, correct, Maha Dakini Lorae?
Yeah, and then I was just watching a video on this young girl who said she was a crystalline child.
Yeah, and then there's a crystal kitten, and that's the more advanced version of the indigo, and that might actually be after the fact of being an indigo. So anyhow, there's a lot of people.
Define what that is.
But an indigo person is a certain type of person that's come into the world to help the planet with the transition of from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. And so the indigo person is typically very talented, very psychic. They're typically teachers to the people that are and so anyhow, they're more evolved beings. In other words, they're not typically from this planet, I believe. And what I believe is happening is that they come here to help the transition, and then what's going to happen is in the years to come, they're going to be and what it is that their soul, literally their soul keeps them out of relationships, keeps them out of any karmic ties that aren't necessary, so that they can move on. In other words, they're going to be as soon as they pass on from this lifetime, they're going to go to another galaxy, probably another galaxy, maybe another planet, but they're not going to be on this planet anymore. So when they move on, they're going to be moving on to somewhere else. And so anything that makes them stay here, that any kind of karma that'll make them stay here, the soul will purposely keep them out of that karma so that they can move forward. And a lot of times relationships are that thing that keeps them here. And so a lot of people, unbeknownst to them, they don't even realize it. They end up staying out of relationships so that they can get ready for their next life, which will be into another galaxy or another planet or whatever. So it's like that. Does that make sense to you y'all? Does that make sense to y'all there now?
Yes, Andrew.
All right. Okay. So now, another reason that I think women are single, and this is an astrological point of view, is because it has to do with women that are that have Uranus in Leo, which means that they have a rebellious nature against kids, and also because Uranus is in Cancer. So hang on a second. I'm looking that up as we speak. I was meant to do this earlier, but I forgot. Women. Okay, June 1949. Women that women that were born in that have a birth date between June 1949 and August 1955, their Uranus was in Cancer, which means they have a rebellious nature against wanting to be a mom, and which brings me to the point that's one of the biggest reasons that women are want to stay single, because they don't want to be a mom. They're afraid of being a mom. They don't know how to be a mom. They're scared to be a mom. So
Wait a minute. There's
right.
a difference between being afraid to be a mother and choosing not to be a mother. So that's
okay.
I don't like
true.
the choice of words there.
Well, and that's true. That's a good point. I think predominantly it's because women are afraid of being a mom. That's what I think. But you're right. They may just choose not to be a mom because of illnesses, or if they have a kid, they're going to die or whatever. There's all kinds of fake reasons.
Well, no, or just to say, well, in my case, I'm going to speak about me again. I didn't really feel that my role on Earth was to birth a human child.
Okay.
To make a genetic trophy. If I am working as a mother in my work, in attending to, my clients and working on their emotional needs and things, and I think that's a greater purpose. But to, wanting to add population to the world, I didn't feel that I was emotionally ready for that at that time in my life.
Okay, and I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
There wasn't fear about it.
I hear what you're saying.
I think that's responsibility.
Okay.
How many women, are going along listening to their biology, or how many women, are tramping a man, or they want to be moms, but they don't want the relationship.
Okay, so again, this is more of a general thing where women have rebellious natures against being mom, and women born between June 1949 and August 1955 have Uranus in Cancer, which means that they're afraid of nurturing people, or they have this rebellious nature of nurturing people, and they want it to be done correctly and not just a haphazardly kind of thing. Now, women born between August 1955 through August 1962, their Uranus was in Leo, which means they have this rebellious nature against kids, against the entertainment industry, against child rearing. So they might they might be okay with being a mother or being a wife, but they may not be okay with being a mother. Okay, so again, that points to that direction. And then finally, and again, we talked about some of these people are a lot of these women are indigo women, and they don't even know it, but they're going to be moving on to another planet or another universe or another galaxy, and so it's very important for them to stay single. It's really crucial that they stay single so that they won't get stuck here again. Now, the last and final reason, and maybe this is not the last, but the final reason, and that I think is the biggest reason, or one of the biggest reasons, is because women have PTSD. I think we talked about this. John Bradshaw, in his book, Toxic Shame, it talks about how about 96% of the people in the United States are all abused. Sooner or later, they're all abused one way or another, to some extent or another. So anytime anybody's abused, they have PTSD to some level or another. So the more abuse that you've undergone, the more PTSD you'll be going through. And so it's really important that if that's the case with any woman, that they especially if it's a severe case, that they see somebody about that PTSD. Otherwise, hugging and setting intentions, being honest, being clear, being transparent, are all methods of overcoming even mild cases of PTSD. And again, I'm not a certified physician or licensed lawyer, but these are things that people might want to look at in terms of overcoming. And it could be a very simple case of PTSD, and then they'll be able to get involved in a relationship in a good, healthy way, and then go from there. So it's like that. Any last comments, real quick?
No, we have probably like 30 seconds left of the program.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to cut you off.
Any last second thing you want to say?
Well, I want to thank Deb for joining us tonight.
And thanks to all of you for stopping by. Thanks, Deborah, for joining us. Thanks all of you for having an amazing life. Have a God-guided week. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha.